classics like Tom and Jerry and Bugs Bunny, but Bugs Bunny is...
Well, you know what I think? I think that for International Bugs Bunny Day, I think that everybody should YouTube. When your family are finished first and second, your thing is up, you know. So the Russells are no stranger to walking away victorious from these races, with this being Carlisle's 5th Jake's Off-Road Triathlon.
Wow. You know, when they turn up, you're like, okay, give them the trophy. You know, like, why are we even here? You know?
But congratulations to Carlisle and Malika. That's crazy to me. First and second father-daughter combo.
Well, second in her category. He came first.
Right.
Yeah, so that is...
That's
but that
crazy.
is awesome. She's doing very well. Good, immaculate girl. She's doing other things as well in sport.
She's also... she's been nominated for a youth award, Prime Minister Youth Award as well. So she's on that list as well.
Absolutely.
Good girl, man. Good girl.
I'm going to say a special birthday shout out to retired teacher Yvonne Christie from Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland, coming from your son Taj, who is our very own camera operator. He wishes you a blessed day and that you live in good health and live to see many more. Look how nice. Look how clean. Look how
mommy.
I don't know. I don't know how Taj came to be this way.
Stop that. Taj a good boy. Stop it. Don't get him in any trouble with mommy. Mommy he's wonderful, mommy. He's wonderful.
I mean, he's always sharing scriptures, always has a good word to tell, you know? A word of encouragement.
Yeah, mommy, you did good. You did good, moms. You did good. And also, happy 5th birthday to Zane Brown, coming from Mom Karina, Grandma Veronica, and Dad Lee Moore. They hope you live to see many, many more, Pumpkin. Look at you. Happy birthday.
Nice. A friend of mine, Nicholas Campbell, is celebrating a birthday. Nicholas, aka Nick Clean, he hails from Hannahtown in Western Kingston. Yeah, he's a very good friend of my wife Susan's, and so she's saying happy birthday, as well as the entire team at Oddpem, where he works. You know whose birthday it is?
Whose?
If I said to you, Skilly Wadley Diddly Widdly Diddly Willy scene. You have to have the scene, you know. Yeah.
That sounds like Barrington Levy.
Barrington Ainsworth Levy was born on this day in 1964. Of course, he's a reggae and dancehall artist. In 2023, Rolling Stone ranked Barrington Levy at number 119 on its list of the 200 greatest singers of all time.
Oh, a big thing. That's in
all time.
All time. That's big.
He's one of the goats of music, so don't disrespect. Shoodly waddly diddly 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 diddly. Whoa, Zane, you know what time it is. Run that Barrington Levy mixtape.
Happy birthday, Barrington Levy.
Oh.
You gotta love them, and if you're not loving, then brother, you gotta be joking. You must work on a lie and don't be a jerk. Everybody must work. Work hard. You know why? It's like lazy body not gonna work. But I keep telling her I'm too experienced to be taking for a stroll. Too experienced for someone to rock and roll. I'm too experienced to be taking for a ride. And I know it's not my foolish pride. She hates the sight of me. Hey, black roses in my garden. To keep and care it, you've got to water it. To keep and care it, you've got to water it. I've been traveling all over this world, yeah. I never see a black rose in no other garden. And the intercom rose and tell me to come. So she didn't have a daughter, she didn't have a son. She said the look doesn't run.
Choose your life insurance coverage, apply, and pay online. Live the e-life with Sagicor Life. The time by Sagicor Life is
6:15. So I'm at a party vibing with a 10. At least I hope it's a 10. But I'm not sure because my contacts fell down the bathroom sink, so I can't see a thing. I don't know what to do. What I do know, though, is the smell of KFC hot wings. Delicious, irresistible wings I can enjoy with my eyes closed. KFC hot wings, a wing for the win.
Are you ready?
What's your story? What's your sign? We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
16 and a half minutes after 6 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. Good morning to you wherever you are. Welcome back to Sunrise. It's now time for our girl TK to put on her news hat. Yeah.
It's news hat time. Let's jump into the headlines.
Yeah.
All right. So missing money is what we're starting with this morning. So controversy now looms over the Excelsior Community College on Mountain View Avenue in Kingston, following allegations that over $9 million is missing from the school's bank account. CVM News sources say the revelation came on April 19th when authorities found no deposit was made to the school's account from January to March of 2024. Principal Fillmore McCarthy noted that a senior administrator was subsequently placed on leave pending an internal review. Though the leave took effect Thursday, April 19th, the accused was seen on the campus as late as 8 p.m. on Saturday, April 20th. When CVM News contacted the accused regarding the allegation, the call abruptly ended when the matter was mentioned and further calls went unanswered. Principal McCarthy says a report from the board will determine the next steps. And it's understood that the protocol is for the school's board to first investigate, then and alert the Education Ministry. However, up to news time, efforts to reach Minister Favour Williams and Permanent Secretary Dr. Kassan Troop were unsuccessful.
All right, that gentleman that we punched up in the B-roll, for the record, it's B-roll, and I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure if that's a principal. Is that the principal?
I wasn't looking at the screen. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I'm not sure who was punched up.
But for the record, I mean, it's something that good going with in terms of journalism and unearthing the story. Well, I would say that let a proper investigation be done. You can't force people to want to litigate matters in the public domain. So what I would hope is that a proper audit is done so that we can know and trace the funds and identify what has become of them.
And there's been a lot of discussion, Dennis, lately, especially of funding for, especially secondary schools, high schools, and how sometimes, and community colleges, and how sometimes greatly underfunded they are. So I'm hoping that whatever money is lost, misplaced, whatever.
Well, not yet accounted for.
Not yet accounted for.
Not yet accounted for, could
is be. Found and, allocated in the way that it is supposed to be. Because everybody benefits that way, especially the students. So let's go now. Rainy days in Portland, even in this drought time. Can you imagine? So residents of Claverty Cottage, Portland, are in continued fear of landslides due to the continuous 4 days rain they received. Residents stated that rain has done more than give them water. As one resident and farmer of Claverty Cottage, Ralston Thomas, says, it has even damaged some of their resources. However, some after effects of the rain are nothing new to them, as their roadway has been in deplorable conditions for years. But when they thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. Their cries for help are loud as even the sick are at a disadvantage when treatment is required. Pastor for the Pilgrim Church of God who works with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, Raphael Willis, says they are flooded with additional expenses due to the road condition caused by the rains. And the issue has stained the community for over 25 years. Pastor Willis says the bad roads are a result of some major flooding that occurred some years ago.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes you think, oh, that community needs better roads. Yes, but the truth is that, you know, by virtue of heritage, lineage, etc., you know, it's where we've always lived. But people do live in some remote places. And in Jamaica, some of the times the communities aren't structured and planned with a long-term development in mind. And so people go and live in a remote place, and their family, their generations live in that remote place, and then they say, government, come put resources up here in this remote place that we've chosen to live. I mean, it's where we can get land. It's where our people have always lived. But then how do you find, but guess what? You see, when politics time come, people find them. So go on up there, find them.
And there's also the issue, Dennis, of, you know, it's true, water can really do some major damage.
Oh, yeah,
so even
absolutely.
if it is an established community in an established place, some couple days well of rain consistently has done some major damage.
You go and you put in millions of dollars of infrastructural rehabilitation, and then it
just wash away.
And it's going to wash away, and you can know it's because of the topography of the land, because of the drainage systems, you know, that you've gone up there and disturbed by living there. It's gonna happen. It's going to happen. So I mean, it's just a matter of when. So I mean, that's the question.
All right.
And I think, you know.
Well, let's jump into the next one. Jamalco retroactive protest. The retirees from Jamalco gathered at the company's gates 7:30 yesterday morning, voicing frustration over unpaid retroactive monies.
Oh boy.
For years, they've toiled in the mines, some spanning over 4 decades.
Wow.
But they say the promised payout remains as elusive as gold at the end of a rainbow. However, in a statement, Jamalco reaffirms its commitment to fair compensation, stressing that every employee should be paid according to their contract terms. The company stated that they've engaged with the Union of Technical, Administrative and Supervisory Personnel, UTASP, and have promised to compensate the affected former employees. So in response to the protest, Jamalco says they're in talks with the union to arrange a meeting later this week to discuss a structured payment plan.
Oh, because I'm listening to hear. So just tell me why they haven't made, why do they have to protest? Because is it about poor communication? Because if the workers know that, look here, dialogue is going on, they're going to pay us, it's just a matter of timing and structure. Or is it a case of, we know, but we don't like the timing and structure that you've outlined for us, and so the discussions have broken down, and so we are now protesting? Or is it a case that you're not talking to us, and so we have a protest in order for you to even issue this statement? You understand? So, you know, I'm listening out. So what is going to fix the situation?
Well, the meetings are coming up, and the unions will be meeting, and we'll see how that works.
Boy, we are a nation of meetings, you know. We love meat.
We like to gather.
We love meat.
We like to gather.
Mercy
Well,
God.
hopefully the meetings yield, and because, you know, you're working for over 4 decades, you must get your money. You really should. And remember,
and it's retro, which means that money
where it should have been from before.
Retro.
But tune in to Lead Story with George Davis at 6:30 p.m. Remember, such a great show. Really great show.
It is very informative, and George is, of course, I don't know if he's the cat's pajamas or the cock of the walk, but he's a very, very accomplished journalist. So he's doing his thing. So you tune in at 6:30, watch Lead Story, and then just go straight into the news at 7.
Yeah, and then on the other side of the break, it's International Jazz Day. So we are jazzing it up. Stay with us.
All right.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVMTV.
Look who we have in the cut. No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator, my longtime brethren, the great, all-star, the king, and the man himself. Salute! You know, as man, we're not too go as specialists, and that's the pinnacle of the problem.
We want some new era.
Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. You lie!
You work till you win.
It was pandemonium.
Country people can relate to me, I talk about. What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what me think about myself. Man United, you know. I don't care what man want to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man.
You finished?
Yes, we finished.
The Cut is brought to you by Flo and Guinness.
Jamaica's favorite drama, Your Guilty Pleasure.
All that having a baby now is going to do for you is make you a prisoner of this apartment.
Long run shot, kid.
Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
Cooking with love, crazy. And the cook at home.
Wow. Cooking with love. What do you know about that?
Hi, I'm Juliet Holness, wife of the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and you're here with me on Cooking with Love.
Bollywood has never been this good. Catch Made for Each Other weekdays 1 p.m. on your drama station CVM. Brought to you by
Hyundai.
Hi, I'm Wayne.
And I'm Tami.
And we are the Mitchells. You can watch Meet the Mitchells right here on CVMTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yes, you guys don't want to miss it. We will be having new episodes every week, so definitely follow along with our family.
Meet the Mitchell family.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
You're the sugar to my tea. Meet the Mitchell family.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVMTV.
What's your story? What's your sign? You're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Look who we have in the cut. No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator, my longtime brethren, the great, all-star, the king, and the man himself. Salute! You know, as man, we're not too go as specialists, and that's the pinnacle of the problem.
We want some new era.
Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. You lie!
You work till you win.
It was pandemonium.
Country people can relate to me, I talk about. What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what me think about myself. Man United, you know. I don't care what man want to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man.
You finished?
Yes, we finished.
The Cut is brought to you by Flo and Guinness.
I am the only dog.
But we fix our business fair, you know.
More comfortable for what, Pastor?
Jamaica's favorite drama, Your Guilty Pleasure. Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
We are proud to supply all of Jamaica with the highest standard of gas products to keep you safe and well taken care of. Choose well. Choose IGL.
The time by IGL is
6:30.
Thanks for staying with us. Welcome back to Sunrise. It's International Jazz Day, so I've put on my jazz announcer
that's the jazz voice.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's International Jazz Day, and we're jazzing it up with musicians Ozone Saldana and Canadian musician Isaacs, and we'll get a taste of the jazzy musical odyssey that you can expect this weekend. Welcome to Sunrise, gentlemen.
Thank you.
First of all right, Ozone, you're on keys. I thought you were gonna I thought you were gonna come in.
But they muted it.
Okay, it was too soon. It was too soon.
I'm glad.
I'm glad you had the vision. but let me ask you, Ozone. You've been doing jazz for a long time.
I believe so.
Yeah. What is it about playing jazz that's fundamentally different from playing gospel and classical and other genres? What?
Freedom.
Yeah.
You see the twinkle in his eye when he said that? You see your face?
Yeah. Because jazz allows you to take certain liberties within a particular range. But for you, how would you answer that question?
Well, I think with jazz, you have all the musicians need to be working together. So everybody has their own contribution, but at the same time, they're listening to what everybody else is doing. And the whole thing kind of evolves like that. That's what I find different than the other types of music, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at a song called like Desafinado, which is slightly out of tune, you'd think it is out of tune, but it's not. It's deliberately this way, and that's what kind of makes it jazz.
Yeah, many different sounds in jazz.
It makes it what?
Jazz. Yeah, you have to listen to his
Boy,
expression.
I don't know. But you guys are doing something for International Jazz Day.
That is correct.
What is that? Where is it? Where can we find more of you?
Okay. Well, this is the brainchild of Sir Herbie Miller. I'm sure you should know that name.
Of course, yeah.
And the wonderful ministry, and this is such a long name to pronounce, the Ministry of Gender, Culture, Entertainment, and Sports. Anyway.
So the entertainment part.
Right. So they have sponsored this event along with UNESCO.
Awesome.
And it's a brilliant thing to do. It gives us as musicians who seldom have the opportunity to express that part of our music, because for the most part, Jamaican people, especially the younger generation, they are accustomed to dancehall. That's music for them. They don't know where dancehall came from. So this gives us an opportunity to express and explore. And I have a little thing in my head, and I don't know, I'll probably nail on the cross, but jazz is actually of Jamaican origin.
You think so?
Oh, yes.
In terms of the people in...
If you listen to the word J-A-Z-Z or J-A-Z-Z, so it's Jamaica, zillion sounds. Zounds. Sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Learn something new every day.
I know, I made that up. I totally made that up. But seriously, we Jamaican musicians, we have had an impact on the jazz scene in America.
We have, yes.
People like Wilton Guinea, earlier Joe Harriet, all of these people, because history has actually proven that a lot of our indentured laborers from the Caribbean, Jamaican, went to New Orleans and played their music and influenced the way that people there perceived and interacted musically speaking. And so because jazz is really about, as far as I'm concerned, adventure, exploration, it's getting to know self, the unfolding of self.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Beautiful. We're going to let you unfold yourself in a little bit.
Tonight,
yes.
7 p.m., Ranny Williams Center, and guess what? It is free.
Oh, we love that. Say it again.
It is F-R-E-E.
Yeah, man.
No cost.
So there's no cost at all.
Yeah.
Come and enjoy. You're going to have some wonderful musicians. There's going to be the Jam Big Band Orchestra, of which I am the musical director. Of course, again, Sir Herbie Miller is the one who put that band together from the Institute of Jamaica.
Of course.
There's going to be Dr. Kathy Brown. Anybody who knows her knows that
she's big on jazz. Big on jazz.
So she's going to be on it. There is going to be, who else? Well, Isaacs plays with us, so he's going to be with the big band. There's going to be Lady Keisha Patterson, if you know that name. Yeah. And we have Curtis Lundy, who is an American musician, and some other musicians. I don't have all the names in my head.
No, man, that's all right. We're going to come and check it out.
Right,
for sure.
but please do. I mean, it's going to be quality music, and music of a difference that we haven't heard regularly. So come and check it out.
So you're going to give us a taste of that now?
We will attempt
I want to hear it. Let's do it.
We'll definitely enjoy. Of course.
Thank you.
Over to you.
So music spoken here. Melody.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVMTV.
I'm Celine Gordon, host of Holy Road.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy John Mark Wigan, host on the show Holy Road. Listen, people need to know what's happening in the churches and in ministry in all of Jamaica. It's an absolute blessing. We're really excited to share this.
Tune in to CVM, see it happen.
Bollywood has never been this good. Catch Made for Each Other weekdays 1 p.m. on your drama station CVM. Brought to you by
Hyundai.
Hi, I'm Wayne.
And I'm Tami.
And we are the Mitchells. You can watch Meet the Mitchells right here on CVMTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yes, you guys don't want to miss it. We will be having new episodes every week, so definitely follow along with our family.
Meet the Mitchell family.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
You're the sugar to my tea. Meet the Mitchell family.
Welcome back to Sunrise. If you're just joining us, you're in time for your Tuesday morning checkup. Today, it's all about hypertension or high blood pressure, and we'll be learning about the causes, the symptoms, the prevention tips with CEO, founder of Comfy Home Medical Services. I like that name there, see? Dr. Kirk Jones. Welcome to Sunrise, Dr.
Morning,
Jones.
Doc.
Morning, how are you doing? Thank you.
All is well.
Or I should say welcome back to Sunrise, Dr. Jones.
It's always good to be here.
It's always good to have you.
Last time you were here, you actually checked my blood pressure.
Was it high?
It wasn't.
Oh, look at you. And speaking of that, so we're always hearing about hypertension, high blood pressure. It's something that I think afflicts so many Jamaicans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What constitutes a high blood pressure reading?
All right. So firstly, we have to talk about, understanding what hypertension is. Mm-hmm. Hypertension.
Well, first of all, what is blood pressure?
Blood pressure?
What is your blood pressure? What's going on with that?
Right. So your blood pressure is basically just two numbers. Mm-hmm. So one at the top, one at the bottom. Mm-hmm. One at the top represents what we call systolic function. Systolic means the pressure at which the heart has to pump blood to the entirety of your body. Mm-hmm. Now, the diastolic, which is the number at the bottom, represents the pressure at which the heart relaxes and collects blood. Mm-hmm. Right? So all of us has this function of the heart, and the blood pressure gives us an indication as to how well the heart is functioning. Mm-hmm. Right? So what we call a normal blood pressure is we say anywhere around 120/80. When we do get concerned, of course, is when it is now at 140/90 or progressing forward or onwards. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's what hypertension essentially is. Mm-hmm. Now, there's two types of hypertension, which is essential or primary, meaning that there's no other underlying cause or the cause of hypertension, just innately happens. But then there's secondary, where there's some other underlying illness that is basically triggering or causing these, awkward or abnormal elevations in pressures. Mm-hmm. Right.
So what are things that can cause abnormal, the secondary one?
How I normally explain it for persons to understand, we group them. So there's like modifiable causes, non-modifiable causes. Mm-hmm. Modifiable meaning things that you could have changed to prevent you from being diagnosed with hypertension, or things that, really and truly, you just could have done better with. Mm-hmm. But non-modifiable are things that you really just can't do anything about, right? Mm-hmm. So
you said things that you could have changed. So does that mean that if I'm diagnosed with hypertension, that means that's it? I'll have it forever? Or are there things I can do at that point to reduce and no longer have it at all?
Well, once you're diagnosed, as we say, it's a lifelong illness, right? It's chronic, meaning long term. It doesn't just walk out the door, of course. So, no, there's no way to really reverse it. You understand?
Which is why a good question is like, at what point, because you could walk into a doctor's office and you don't realize that you're stressed and they check your pressure, or it could just be you have a fear of doctors and you have white coat hypertension, and when you're not around the doctor, your blood pressure goes back to normal. At what point of a period of readings does the doctor tell you, look, you're hypertensive?
So that's why when you go back to the diagnosis of hypertension, really, it's not just about having one fixed value, as I mentioned, of course, right? So what you want to do, of course, how we define it is having 2 or more separate readings on 2 separate office visits. Right? You want to ensure, of course, that you're relaxed. You want to know that there's a proper way in taking blood pressures that we all advise and train medical professionals to do. Right? So yes, there is white coat hypertension, which is what we call falsely elevated blood pressures. Right. But how we go really mitigate going about this, there's something called home blood pressure monitoring. So you stay at home, you monitor it, you make accurate documentations, you carry it back to us, and we also do it again in the office. And through this now, we have somewhere of an objective assessment to say, okay, should we diagnose you or should we not?
Doc, a lot of times people ask the question, does hypertension run in your family? I hear that a lot. Does that mean, is it genetic or is it a lifestyle thing that causes it?
Well, as I said, the non-modifiable causes would have been the genetic predisposition. Okay. You really have no control over that. But then the modifiable causes, of course, would be things like a dietary. your lifestyle choices such as smoking, cigarette choices, alcohol abuse, not alcohol intake, but abuse of alcohol per se. Just based on how you eat overall, if you're a person who tends to eat high contents of salt and so forth, then yes, naturally you're at a higher risk of developing hypertension at some point in time.
Hypertension is often called like a silent killer because of the lack of symptoms. What is it about hypertension? Or let me ask it this way. How can we pick up on, hey, I think my pressure is high right now. Like, it's because it's not like diabetes.
Right.
You know?
Right. So it's normally, as you said, described as a silent killer, which is why we say to patients, not because, you're waiting for your head to hurt you or for you to have chest pains or neck stiffness, you're going to decide, hey, I should take my medication now because my pressure high. No, most times it's actually asymptomatic and you can't really tell. But the common symptoms, of course, patients complain of having headaches, they might feel dizzy, they don't feel like themselves, neck stiffness, heart racing more than usually, and then when we say you're having these things, we say, of course, you should get your pressures checked.
But that time, if you have those symptoms, it's really bad.
Not necessarily.
It's probably really high.
Not all the time.
Okay.
But as I said, some people can have it really high and they just don't know because they're just asymptomatic. Hence the term silent killer.
So, Dr. Jones, we're talking about, let's talk about how we deal with it now, right? So, like, what type of diet should someone who has hypertension
So doctors would go about telling you about the DASH diet, which is just protocol as to what we advise you how to eat. So we start by telling you to minimize your salt intake. And there is a way that you can check it. You can read the labels when you're buying your meals, buying your food, stuff like that from the supermarket. So it's less than 2 grams. And it varies based on guidelines, of course. We want you to cut down on the saturated fats. We want you to have more unsaturated fats, cut down on certain milk intake. There's certain more whole grains like your brown rice, stuff like that. And also encourage you to have more fruits and vegetables in your diet as well, more lean meat too.
So dash diet no means you have to dash with all of the nice things.
No. No.
Are there any non-tablet solutions one can have for hypertension real quick? Anything natural or?
So they speak about it's not well documented.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be wise to speak about the non-documented ways of approaching hypertension.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I understand.
Like for the people who think that I'm not going to take my medication, I'm going to use all of these things and I have this new herb.
Take your medicine. Take your medicine.
Yeah. Our guest has been Dr. Kirk Jones, the CEO, the founder of Comfy Home Medical Services. From health tips to planning trips, we're going to return in a moment and get the 411 on laptop optimization. We'll be right back.
Thanks so much. That's good.
Years of trust. 40 years of bright ideas. 40 years of evolving with technology.
Home and Garden Expo, in association with HAG Studios, returns with excitement to the National Arena, May 4 and 5, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. See the fabulous displays, attend health talks, decorating and gardening workshops, do health checks, children and artist villages, shopping, live entertainment each day, lots of prizes and giveaways, adults 1,200, children 500, Health, Home and Garden Expo 2024. Don't miss it.
Get ready! The best ever international meet to be staged in Jamaica. The inaugural Jamaica Athletics Invitational, a World Continental Tour Silver with a star-studded cast of international and local stars. Saturday, May 11, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at the National Stadium. Featuring the Olympic champion Hansel Parchment, former world champion Fred Curley, British record holder Zarnell Hughes, rising triple jump sensation Jaden Hibbert, Kyron McMaster, and Kristen Coleman, two-time world champion Danielle Williams, former world champion Nina Asher Smith, world record holder Toby Amusa, world championship medalist Shanika Ricketts, Marie-José Talou, St. Lucian Hot Shot, Julian Alfred, Nia Ali, Rochelle Clayton, Kemba Nelson, plus a surprise entertainment package never seen before in Jamaica.
Bollywood has never been this good. Catch Made for Each Other weekdays 1 p.m. on your drama station CVM. Brought to you by
What's your story? What's your sign? Who dreamers? Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
10 minutes going up to 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, we will have your morning news, so you don't want to miss it. Welcome back, though. If you've been spending a lot of time looking at that spinning wheel cursor on your laptop, you might be due for some repairs or an upgrade altogether. Tech engineer and owner of iTech Repairs is back in the Sunrise studio, and this time we're delving into the world of laptop maintenance, repair, and optimization, exploring those common issues faced by laptop users, including slowing performance, aging hardware, and potential data loss risks.
I'm excited about this. I have a laptop that needs some work. So whether you're a seasoned tech enthusiast or a casual user, iTech is here to equip you with practical tips to keep your laptop running smoothly.
All right. How are you, boss?
I'm here now. Good morning.
Stephen.
Thank you.
So last time you were here, we were talking about phones. But look here. While we are doing so much more on our phones, you cannot negate the importance of your workstation. Increasingly, your laptop is your primary workstation now, and you want to do serious work, yeah? But some of the times, for one reason or another, it's not performing the way it used to. What are some of the common reasons why the machine is just not doing what it used to do?
All right, then. So usually when it comes down to computers, they have what you call HDD, which is hard disk drives. Now, hard drives, the hard disk drive, they have moving parts in it. Now, over time, moving it around in your bag and stuff, when the bag bounce, it is that these parts tend to wear over time. So with that, you find that the computer tends to slow down over time. So what we do now with those computers to bring back new life to them is that we change from the hard disk drive, which is the movable part one, to what we call solid state drives. Now the solid state drive is, in layman terms, basically a big flash drive, and it stores information and it gives it back really quickly, right? And it usually optimizes performance as well with boot up speeds. The lagging and the scratching, it's more silent, right? You don't have that little scratching sound, that little knocking sound that you're always hearing whenever you pour on the computer, as well as memory. Now with advancement in technology, what is happening is that back then, 512, you know them old time 512 could run like a Windows 98 PC. Now we have Windows 11, like what's on this laptop here right now. We need at least 4 gigs of RAM. At least 4 gigs. For Windows 7 is 2 gigs, I believe, and possibly the same for Windows 10. So these are what we call memory modules, right? And depending on the form factor of the board, which is the physical specifications of the board, right? It is that we can upgrade the memory from 1 gigabyte to 2 gigabytes. So you have an old computer at your house, not using it anymore. What we can do is we can put some more memory in it, move it from 4 to 8, 8 to 16, and then that now in turn would give you a speed boost, as well as with the solid state. What it allows you to do now is get that old computer and use it more effectively and efficiently.
So somebody trying to sell you a new machine, sometimes you don't really need a new machine. Sometimes you just need to tune the machine, so to
optimize
speak.
the one that you have.
Because, well, not bashing computer sale.
No,
in the time that we're in now, right? It's an age of technology, right? So having a computer that you can use, right, is it's good.
What's the average time? You know how people usually keep phones for like, let's say what, 3 years or 4 years or whatever. There are people who change it every year. What's the average time to keep a laptop and it would be in good order?
As long as it's working.
As long as it's working.
I like you.
I like that
you
answer.
mentioned little habits that some laptop users might have, like carrying the laptop in your book bag and it moving around. Are there any other things that people are doing and they don't realize that this could be damaging it? For example, you know those people who keep on them laptop all the time, or you allow the laptop to die, or is that bad? Does it make a difference?
The laptop battery dying is not bad, but using the laptop on the bed is bad. It's like putting a bag over somebody's head. It doesn't allow them to breathe properly. Now we have something on the motherboard that is called a graphics card. Without the graphics card, the computer won't boot. So whenever it is that you have it on the bed and the sheet block the fan, what happens is that instead of dissipating the heat, it's actually keeping it in, and then that causes the components to open up because it's solder that holds the graphics card to the board. So when that opens up now, your computer no longer works. So that's why it is best, if you're using it on the bed, to get a flat surface, a book, you know, something, even as much as an egg tray. You know, the 24, you can put it on that, and that in turn will help to keep your computer good and keep it up for a longer time. As well as when it comes down to computers, we have to ensure that we keep them clean. Now, when it comes down to maintenance, we don't have to bring it to a technician, so to speak, apart from for probably like upgrades and stuff that we can't do ourselves. Right? But you can
get a Q-tip and...
Yeah, or better yet, the can dusters.
Those work perfectly.
Good. So, for example, like your keys and stuff, you can use it and blow the keys up, because if they're going to need the keyboard after a while, you're going to have keyboard issues. And then you'd have to change the keyboard as well. Right? Or use an external keyboard.
All right. Quite interesting, quite insightful. If somebody's watching this conversation and says, I need to get in touch with that guy, he sounds like an honest guy who would treat my machine well, talk to them.
Okay, I am located at 12A Whitehall Avenue, Kingston 8. And as I said the last time, the wall is painted red at the top with tiles at the bottom. It's the only place in the area that has tiles on the wall.
Look for the tiles.
Look for the tiles.
Look for the tiles. Thanks so much, Stephen. So that was Stephen James, tech engineer and owner of iTech Repairs. And join me after the break for your morning news. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Makeda, and this is how I used to drive to work. Then I found my way around all of that hassle. Highway 2000 East-West made my commute quicker with no potholes, less gas station stops, and almost no traffic. Now I know my way around. Don't stress it, East-West it, and make Highway 2000 East-West your easy way.
Mindset Conference 2024, the Gospel Edition, Monday to Wednesday, May 20 to 22, at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel with Pastor John Gray, Pastor Travis Green, Dr. Jackie Green, Todd Galbert, Phil Thomas, Minister Marion Hall, Kevin Downswell, Sharon Gardner, Rhoda Isabella, Pastor Junior Tucker, Bishop Everton Thomas, and many more. Join us for dinner, workshop, panel discussions, praise and worship, undiluted word, and concerts every night. Mindset Conference. For more info, mindsetconference.org. Get your tickets now.
Welcome to my corner office.
To your what?
Corner office.
So you were actually
a welder?
A welder? No, you from welding iron to know you're well wig.
My grandfather, he would come to me and say to me, little girl, come out of the mirror. How much time if you tell us and we come out on the stage?
Wig wasn't the thing. Your granny have one wig. You know them, the church wig, the little old stable wig. That time, this industry has evolved. The dolls them in a wig, the Miss Kitties them in a wig, the celebrities overseas in a wig, everybody in a wig.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVMTV.
Has
begun, I've traveled the seas, I've traveled the waters. Once I was weak, now I'm much stronger. I've worked in the sun, look what I've become. I've conquered the beast, now I'm much greater. I've learned from a failure. Dedication, discipline and drive, seizing every moment that comes up in this life.
The time by Hyundai or Hyundai 5 free payments, 3 years free insurance, or 3 years free petrol bonus is
7 o'clock.
Good morning. Welcome to Morning News. I'm TK Dawkins. Despite a downward trend, murders remain a cause for concern in Clarendon, with more youngsters mirroring adults. The police are crafting an initiative under a name to encourage students to be better versions of themselves. In a situation brought to light on social media, a teenager appeared unperturbed by the consequences of launching a physical attack under the nose of the law.
An act of lunacy is how one person describes this behavior.
In relation to a video that has been circulating on social media in which a student was seen attacking another student while she was sitting in a marked service unit. This incident would have occurred on Friday, April 12th of this year, about 3:30 p.m. in the vicinity of the Vere Technical High School. Both students were brought to the school and they have both been disciplined by the school.
In fact, CVM News understands 9 students, 14 to 15-year-old girls, one from Camps Hill High, the others from Vere, were suspended for 10 days for what has been a series of confrontational disputes. Information also reaching our newsroom is the fallout surrounds a leaked image for which revenge is being sought. On this day, the police actually intercepted a brawl, and an alleged aggressor was being taken away from the scene when the situation took on a different tone in the face of the crime fighters.
They have also been referred to the Child Protection and Family Service Agency and the Restorative Justice, as also the GRAPE program that is offered by the Clarendon Police.
GRAPE, formerly Gang Reduction Prevention Education, now in a transitional phase, has taken on a more positive tone: growth, restoration, and positive engagement. Currently, not all schools are on this grapevine, which incorporates the expertise of stakeholders. But the number of students brought in on average over a 7-day period is an indication of the dire need for this type of strategic intervention.
Sometime up to 15 kids here per week.
Would you say it's working? Is GRAPE really working?
Well, in some instances. Some of these children won't change. So when they come, they will confirm for the period that they are here. They will go through the various counseling, but after a time they go back to their old ways. While some of them will change.
Upon return after their period of punishment, the school boards are expected to have a say. The question is, pending that outcome, will there also be further intervention, especially as we inch closer to Child's Month?
It's time now for Quick Biz with Andrew Lately.
While the private sector is lobbying the Bank of Jamaica to cut its indicative policy interest rate, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, is advising central banks to keep rates where they are for now.
Policymakers must resist calls for premature interest rate cuts, because premature easing can see new inflation surprises that may even necessitate a further bout of monetary tightening. And we have to recognize on the other side, delaying too long could pour cold water on economic activity.
While the private sector is lobbying the Bank of Jamaica to cut its indicative policy interest rate, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, is advising central banks to keep rates where they are for now. Supreme Ventures Limited is solidifying its presence in Ghana, a country with a population of 33 million people. This following an announcement that iBet SV Ghana Limited's partner Game Park Limited has received a 10-year license from Ghana Lottery Licensing Authority. Game Park, a Ghanaian company, utilizes the proprietary platform owned by Supreme Ventures to operate 2 lottery games in Ghana: Pick 1, which is known locally as Cashpot, and Pick 4 lottery games. In 2023, SVL set up a subsidiary called iBet Supreme Ventures Ghana Limited to facilitate its operations in that market. The granting of this license follows Game Park satisfying the obligations under the 1-year provisional license as a third-party collaborator to operate a lottery in Ghana. And that's your quick biz. Be sure to tune in to CVM News for the latest business news of the day.
And to sports now, West Indies women will go in search of a series-clinching win against Pakistan when the third in the 5-match T20 series gets underway in 2.5 hours' time at National Bank Stadium in Karachi. The Caribbean side went 2-0 up in the series on Sunday after a 7-wicket win over their hosts. Choosing to bat first, the home side could only manage 121 for 7 as West Indies skipper and player of the match, Hayley Matthews, tore through the lineup, taking 3 for 25. Matthews returned with a bat, cracking 58 from 43 deliveries, and Shemaine Campbell supported with 21 as the visitors reached 124 for 3 with 9 balls to spare. Matthews shared what's the secret to winning 5 in a row and to her outstanding performance.
I think that we obviously as a team putting up our hands and going out there and getting over the line each time. I think one thing that's been super consistent throughout the games is the bowlers. They've stepped up every single game and been able to restrict Pakistan and keep them on the back foot, which has been good. And then in the batting department, our top order really been getting in and doing the bulk of the scoring as well, which you're always happy to see. I think just being patient and wanting to be responsible. Yeah, every time I go out there, just trying to keep my head on. I think something in the past that probably hampered my career a bit was, I guess, my concentration levels and giving away my hand a bit. So I think now I just focusing a lot more on occupying the crease and yeah, just really spending a lot of time on being responsible, not only for my game, but for leading the team with the scoring as well.
And that's it for Morning News. Join us again at noon for more from our news and sports desk. I'm TK Dawkins. Stay with us. More Sunrise after this.
Has begun, I've traveled the seas, I've traveled the waters. Once I was weak, now I'm much stronger. I've worked in the sun, look what I've become. I've conquered the beast, now I'm much greater. I've learned from a failure. Dedication, discipline and drive, seizing every moment that comes up in this life.
Jamaica's favorite drama, Your Guilty Pleasure.
All that having a baby now is going to do for you is make you a prisoner of this apartment.
Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
Look who we have in the cut. No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator, my longtime brethren, the great all-star, the king, and the man himself. Salute! You know, as man, we're not to go as specialists, and that's the pinnacle of the problem. We want some new era. Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. Lie! You work till a week. It was pandemonium. Country people can't relate to me I talk about.
What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what I think about myself.
Man United, you know. I don't care what man want to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man.
You finished?
Yes, we finished.
The Cut is brought to you by Flo and Guinness.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVMTV.
And
Welcome back to Sunrise. On Tuesday, the House of Representatives approved two significant orders aimed at increasing the national minimum wage and the minimum wage for industrial security guards. The proposed increases will take effect on June 1, 2024, and will see the national minimum wage moving from $13,000 to $15,000 per 40-hour work week, while the minimum wage for industrial security guards will go up from $14,000 to $15,000. Here to provide some more context and detail on the proposed increases and what it means for workers across the country, we have the Minister of Labor and Social Security, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. Minister, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Sunrise.
Thank you very much.
All right, so minimum wage, every year when people talk about the minimum wage or whether it should be increased, people often speak about it as if it is something that the government is going to pay out to people, when actually the minimum wage affects everybody. It affects if I can pay my helper, if I can pay a nurse, a gardener, etc. What are some of the considerations that you and by extension the cabinet have to take in moving the minimum wage up?
So, firstly you look on the objective. The objective is to make sure that when Jamaicans are working, they're getting reasonable pay. We're trying to ensure that there's no inequity and that persons are not abused.
Right.
And the reality is that most employers are paying way above the minimum wage, but you do have the few who will take too much advantage. So you have to have a legal framework that ensures that there's a baseline that respects the realities of what's taking place in Jamaica.
And as a price floor then.
Exactly.
How do you ensure that that price floor is reflective of the economic realities and know when to, that 15,000 is where we need to move it now?
Well, firstly, look on what, the factors are telling you the employers can afford. Because even if you raise the minimum wage to 40,000, if people can't afford it, it would be impractical.
Right.
So you have to look on the considerations of what is affordable for both the employer and the employee. What will allow this person to be able to live, considering inflation, considering the other costs in the country, and what is a respectable wage based on our current circumstances. And of course, as Jamaica seeks to develop, you want to ensure that all Jamaicans are at least at this level. No one is left behind. And that's really the goal of the minimum wage. It is not to be seen as the wage for all sectors. And that's when you look on social media.
Almost like it's a prescriptive.
People will say, but that's too little. The fact is, this is the baseline. And we encourage employers and applaud those employers who are paying above the minimum wage.
Right. So, Minister, somebody is watching this and come June 1st, it takes effect, right? And June 15th, they're still working and their employer insists, no, I do business, nobody say on TV, I do business with you, this is what I'm paying and I saw it go. What recourse can someone in that situation take if their employer just refuses to adhere to this new rate?
So once the law has come into effect, we tell persons, get in touch with us at the ministry. And we usually, through our industrial relations department, are very effective in reminding persons of the law, of their own responsibilities, and of the ramifications. You don't often find that, because we take a lot of effort is made in terms of raising awareness and ensuring that we're on CVM, Sunrise, and other places to let people know this is the reality. You have to fall in line. And you shouldn't do it out of just obligation. As a Jamaican, you want the best for your country. You want the development. You want persons to feel valued. You want persons, and it's better for your productivity. We have found that when you adhere to the minimum wage and even exceed it, labor productivity improves.
A challenge that I've heard some persons say, for instance, I was listening to a radio program last year, and the gentleman, an elderly gentleman, blind, he had a nurse aide who he said, I've always paid her just above the minimum wage. But he's saying, I get my pension and I pay her out of my pension. Now that it's gone to 15,000, I was paying her 14,000, which is above minimum wage. What am I supposed to do now? Pay her the 15,000, or I can't pay her 16, which is I'd like to pay her more than the minimum wage, but I just can't. I mean, there are those real considerations that you have to bear in mind.
And that's taken into consideration. I mean, if you see it in context, it is not just minimum wage that's gone up. We're moving towards full employment in Jamaica, and so at the ministry, we are doing several things at the same time to ensure that that person receives more. Social pension has gone up. Half has gone up by 30%. And the NIS pension was raised recently as well. So the reality is that there are several factors being considered and being improved, all towards having this more equitable, inclusive, sustainable society. That is what we're going to require if we're going to have any sustainable development in Jamaica. And labor is a critical factor. So we're targeting not just partnerships to help the potential employees, but we're targeting partnerships to help employers. So we're actually going to be starting productivity sessions so employers know how to treat with issues as you have raised, and how to become more productive, because you don't want to be having greater salaries and the same or less productivity. You know, better salaries mean you want more effective, efficient systems and productivity, which is what's needed if we're going to maintain our growth.
What we also don't want is for persons to say, look, this is what I'm budgeting for salaries. I have 5 of you in my wholesale. I'm going to have to cut one of you because I'm going to need to pay. I can only afford to pay minimum wage, and I can't raise all of it. What about those things which persons will say this is just a hard, cold business decision, but you're going to say, no, that's not the intention of...
Well, it's not the intention, but it is the reality. You know, we have to face that. You know, but the reality also is that there are several sectors where you still are looking heavily for labor. So you may not get it in one space, but that's why we're trying our best to partner across government and across private sector to ensure that the right skill set is there so you can find the job. If you can't find it here, you should be able to find it in several other places, because there are several emerging opportunities in Jamaica right now, which we know of. And so, you know, we're as we see this historic low unemployment, we see that the issues in terms of identifying a job, once you have the skill and the certification, are less. Most persons who are trained and are certified are working.
Definitely want to bring you back in studio to talk about improving labor productivity and upskilling our labor market as well. So you're going to have to come back and talk to us some more.
You're hitting the nail on the head. That issue is the real issue. So that what we do here must make sense, must have value, it must be efficient. That's the Jamaica that we need.
That's where we want to go.
Keep your calendar open. Our people will call your people. We'll have your back for sure.
Definitely.
So that was the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr., Minister of Labour and Social Security. On the other side of the break, it's Girls in ICT with Flo.
New beast to steal. heap of protein, good source of fiber.
Made in Jamaica, we love with Fosca.
We have to prosper with our Fosca. Good for the sugar level and the blood pressure.
Love my family, me love my Fosca. I feel with Fosca, I feel with Fosca. We love with Fosca, I feel with Fosca.
What's your story? What's your sign? You're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Bollywood has never been this good. Catch Made for Each Other weekdays 1 p.m. on your drama station CVM. Brought to you by
Hi, I'm Celine Gordon, host of Holy Road.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy John Mark Wigan, host on the show Holy Road. Listen, people need to know what's happening in the churches and in ministry in all of Jamaica. It's an absolute blessing. We're really excited to share this.
Tune in to CVM. See it happen.
Look who we have in the cut. No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator, my longtime brethren, the great, all-star, the king, and the man himself. Salute! You know, as man, we're not to go as specialists, and that's the pinnacle of the problem. We want some new era. Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. Lie! You work till you win. It was pandemonium. Country people can't relate to me I talk about.
What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what me think about myself.
Man United, I don't care what man want to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man.
You finished?
Yes, we finished.
The Cut is brought to you by Flo and Guinness.
I am the only dog.
But I'm going to fix our business fair, you know.
More comfortable.
More comfortable for what, Pastor?
Jamaica's favorite drama, Your Guilty Pleasure. Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
Today, we are with ladies who are bright, brilliant, educated, and the future of ICT. Give a warm welcome to Senator, the Honorable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon.
Good morning. Wonderful. I have to start with acknowledging all of the people who are here. I also want to talk about today's theme. The theme for ICT, the global theme for Girls in ICT Day is leadership. And we all have the potential to be leaders. I see the potential in all the wonderful ladies who are here today. And you too need to feel that way and need to feel that you don't need to wait for 10, 15 years to be an innovator and a leader. You can start thinking about yourself as a leader from now.
Girls in ICT here today, good morning. Honored to see a gathering of young, bright women filled with purpose and passion, ready to embark on a journey into the dynamic world of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Being among so many bright and young minds, passionate professionals who are shaping the future of the ICT and telecommunication sector is in fact a privilege. As we celebrate the Girls in ICT Day today, let us reaffirm as a people, a country, and certainly it's the intention of this ministry, the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecoms and Transport, to reaffirm our commitment to promoting gender equality and inclusivity in the industry.
How do I draw the line in the sand and set the bar so high that they realize that they have no choice but to meet me at my level?
That's such a good question, and I think you're already in the right path in the way you are thinking. The energy with which we surround ourselves really matters, and it's critical that we curate that very specifically.
Glass ceilings are there to be broken. And I know all of you young ladies are going to break them in the future.
That's so cool. I love it, I love it, I love it. Imagine a world where girls and young women are not just users, but creators in the digital realm. It's a world where science, technology, engineering, and mathematics careers become playgrounds for innovation and empowerment. At the forefront, then, of this movement is Flow and the Flow Foundation, lighting the way for Girls for Information Communication Technology Day, or ICT Day. They're back at it again this year, having hosted their second annual expo last Thursday. Here to tell us more, of course, is Business Communication Manager at Flow, Deline Powell, alongside Chief Executive Officer of the STEM Builders Learning Hub, no stranger to these parts, Khadine Hylton. Deline, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
First of all, I noticed you switch out the blue of Flow into pink. This is very smart.
Yes.
But big up to what Flow is doing, not just for ICT in general, but more specifically for girls in ICT. Why is this so important to Flow? Because you've been doing this for a while.
We have. In fact, while this year we would have hosted this sort of event for the second time.
Yes.
Every year we actually seek to support any sort of initiative that is focused on celebrating Girls in ICT Day. And it's important because we recognize that while women are users of technology, we consume the technology, we go online to shop, we do all of these different things. In many cases, we are not necessarily the power brokers in that space.
Yes.
We are not, for the most part, the ones that are creating these kinds of technology. Far few women are actually studying information and communication technology and computer science.
Right.
And then when it gets to the point of doing things like research and holding positions of leadership within the field, you find that the numbers continue to dwindle. And so one of the things that we are seeking to do is to have girls understand that there is a space for them within the field, that they can make valuable contributions there, and to show them that pathway so that they can make those kinds of contributions.
Watching the video, what jumps out at me is the excitement on the faces of these girls. Like when you're there in this space, just as a woman, but as Flow, like what is that like to see that?
It was inspiring. I will say that we had over 300 young ladies, third formers from schools across the country that converged within this space. And we found that they were so excited about the event because there were exhibitions that were there, were companies, including the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance, and so many other entities, universities, and so on, were showcasing the ways that they are using information and communication technology in a very practical way. They were also able to hear from a lot of power brokers in the space. We had Ayana Samuels, who's an aerospace engineer, and she delivered our keynote. And then Jada Wright, who is that 14-year-old who we know is enrolled at the University of Technology, pursuing her undergraduate degree in computer science. She also addressed the young ladies. And so there were so many different elements of ICT that were within the space that the young ladies were just excited, they were happy, they were eager to learn. A lot of them initially were a little bit, scared of the coding challenge, but Khadine beautifully, brought them through it. And a lot of them, I think, after that experience and gaining a better understanding of ICT, if they weren't thinking about careers in that field, now it's definitely at the top of their minds.
You mentioned Khadine. I think now is a good time to throw over to her because she's doing so much to bring people into that learning hub environment, young girls in particular. Khadine and TK?
Yeah, the theme this year is igniting leadership, right? So Khadine, you're going to lead me through this exercise. What exactly are we going to be doing today?
So one of the things that the girls did on Girls in ICT, they actually used a program called Tinkercad. So this is a 3D software program that allows students to actually create things that they can 3D print, or you can learn to build a circuit and code. So you actually learn C+ coding. So the girls, they were being introduced to this for the very first time. And so as Deline mentioned, they were a little bit apprehensive at first, but once they got into it, you know, coding is such a great teacher in terms of problem solving. And you know, that dopamine hit that you get when you actually solve that problem, you could hear the excitement in the room for sure. So I just wanted to show you, this is one of the things that they did. They actually were able to drag an Arduino board and a breadboard, and we actually have one right here in front of you. So one of the things that the students also express is the ability to actually do the practical thing. So apart from doing it on the computer and running the simulation, they were able to assemble using the LED bulbs and the different wires along with the breadboard and the Arduino and connect it to the computer. So have you ever heard of well, you use the traffic light every day, right?
Right.
So we basically have the lights there. You have a red, yellow, and green, right? Okay. Have you ever wondered how does it work in terms of, the sequence?
How you know when to go red, how you make everybody go on green one time.
Exactly. So you can literally program the sequence of the bulbs coming on and off, blinking and moving from red to yellow to green using the programming technology. And so the girls were exposed to that and they created their own beautiful light show.
I love that. I love that. So how long have you been, you know, working with girls and doing this initiative?
Wow. Maybe over 12 years. I actually started out in the classroom. I taught at an all-girls school for over 7 years.
Which all-girls school?
Alpha.
Okay, all right, we'll call them. All right, so you have an exercise here that we can actually go through.
Yes, so you would like to try?
I would like to try it, you know. I can't promise anybody I'll be, you know, a star student, but I will give it all I've got.
You give it all you got. All right, so we have a blue and a red bulb here.
Okay.
And of course, we have our Arduino and our breadboard. We've connected our resistors and our wires. So if you click Start Simulation, it will start and the bulb will turn on.
I like that. So all I need is press Start Simulation. Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so you can see it lighting up on your screen. But what about if you wanted to delay when it lights up?
Yeah.
So the same thing that would take place like at a stoplight. So you want to say, let's delay it for 5 minutes or for 5 seconds. Would you like to try coding that?
Let's try now. Let's do it quick.
All right, so we have delay here to 300.
Okay.
So that's 300 milliseconds.
Okay.
So to change that into a second, how much would you need to put there?
Yeah, man, tell me now.
All right, so it's going to add another 0. So that will give us 3 seconds. And then that will be the delay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, coding.
It's not so difficult.
Coding. I mean, I said that, you know, but it's something that's so important to learn and it's something that's so helpful. You said you talked about problem solving, but so many things are led and driven by coding, yeah?
Yes, very much so.
And especially in this day and age, knowing to code, I'm sure, opens many doors for people in this time of technology.
It does. And especially, as I mentioned to you before, in terms of problem solving. So problem solving, being able to troubleshoot, and that's a lot of the things that we saw on Girls in ICT Day. Many of them were saying, oh, this is not working, the wiring, you know, and this technology is so tricky because sometimes just one mistake and then it just doesn't work. So the wiring and trying to troubleshoot and figuring out how to get it done, you know, a lot of those skills will come out in terms of critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, etc.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to throw right back to Dennis to wrap things up for us. Thanks so much for that.
You know, Deline, one of the things that jumps out is the fact that, you know, it's important for learning how to solve problems in the modern age, you know, coming up with challenges, designing solutions. I think this is so important, not just for girls, for everybody. What do you envision will be the legacy of this project in the years to come? So, what's a win for Flow?
A win for us, and while this may be a far way off, is we would love to get to the point where activities like an Expo for Girls in ICT Day, those activities become obsolete. So we want to get to the point where women and girls understand from the get-go that just as you can consider a career in journalism or medicine or law, that a career in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is also a viable option. We want them to understand that there's certainly a space for them at all levels within the fields, and we also want them to understand that there are valuable contributions for them to make and to see and for it to start as early as possible. So from preschool, prep school, high school, we would love for these young ladies to understand there's a space for them in STEM.
Indeed, there is a space for them in STEM. My guest, Khadine Powell, Business Communication Manager at Flow, Khadine Hylton, the Chief Executive Officer of the STEM Builders Learning Hub. From science and tech to tips for your travels, there's more Sunrise after the break as TK continues to learn excitedly.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
To love, to enjoy life, to fulfill a dream,
to give for my family, to enjoy life. I found out I had colon cancer in 2018. Surgical Life gave me this $120,000.
All the tests that I had to do, it was about 2-point-something million. But thanks to my Surgical Life critical illness policy, I was able to cover all my expenses.
Having a premature baby was expensive. My Surgical Health plan allowed me to add my son before he was even born. Out of $1.6 million, I only ended up paying $2,500.
I did 2 surgeries and that I had to be attended by nurses day and night. Surgical take care of $3.5 million for my head. What more could I ask for?
Protect what matters most with Surgical Life.
Are you ready? What's your story? What's your sign? You're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVMTV.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Now, we've all been there, haven't we? Standing on our suitcases, doing the travel tango, trying to coax that stubborn zipper closed as if our vacation dreams depended on it. Relax, relax. You don't need to be in a constant wrestling match with your luggage anymore. Our vacay queen, Callie Chin, is here to share her top 6 packing tips to help you breeze through your packing routine. Hey, girl.
What's going on? I like seeing you guys on this end of everything.
Yeah. It's nice to see you on this end as well. We're accustomed to you at the round table, right?
So let's plan for a vacay, guys.
Please.
I really think that the CVM needs all of us to go on a trip. So let's start here. And then
We're bringing it to us.
Can we say Tulum?
Oh, let's do it. Tulum. Okay.
So we're packing for Tulum. All right, so let's have that in mind.
All right.
So first up, okay, so we need to we're going on a trip. Yeah. We need to choose the right luggage. So here, I know all of us are seeing people going through the airports with the hard shell cases, and then we have the soft shell cases.
Yeah.
But do we know why we choose either one? So we're going to Tulum, right? So for safety, these are ideal because then they don't have easy access pockets. So once you close it and you have your locks in place, nobody can get access to it. It's more stylish. If you care about the aesthetics, you're going to be on Instagram or you want to kind of have the different colors and the styles. Personally, and then things don't get as crushed because, you know, everything is compact in the hard shell. For the soft shell, you're going and you know you need to have a little lip gloss or your passport and you don't have a backpack. You want easy access to different things. You know, you might have a layover, you want some underwear, so you can have easy access to some of the things in your carry-on. The only downfall with this is that things do get crushed. They can move around, it's softer. So you decide to Tulum which one you want to go with as you process in your mind.
Maybe if you're going, if you're going to Brooklyn and you have the Escovitch fish and the breadfruit, don't put it in the south.
Don't want it squished up and soft up. And the come on in, Bobby. Right.
So pick the right luggage.
Pick the right luggage. So that's where we're going to start there.
Okay.
Right. So next up, we need to know how to hold everything in it. So we're talking about stuffing everything down. There's a simpler way. I've like talk about my folding techniques that I think are genius, but we're not going to fold, we're going to roll. So let's grab some pants and let's pretend we each have one here. And instead of folding, you find that it really does take up less space when you roll. And what happens when you roll too, guys? You can stick a little... Right, no, Jenny, what is that? The fold or the roll?
That feels like a fold.
No, just fold it up. So what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this?
It ends up taking up space. And then if you want to like roll a little, you know, you have your little lotions or other things, there's a trick. I like to put them in a little bag. And you do this and you hide it. We're not hiding anything from customs, you know.
No.
But we're just
space.
Right. And we just go ahead and roll. So you end up, so we can stack. So you have yours and we stack. Yeah, you hold yours TK. And we and you
just
squish them together.
Right. And this is now almost the space of what we had before.
Right. Well, it was one fold. There we go. We're getting it. You guys are great travel partners.
All right.
And then my third tip is I like to have my little, you know, with the going through the process. Now you have to have 2 ounces, I think, 3 ounces max.
3.4.
3.4. Okay, I'm happy that we know. So I like to have a see-through bag. So nothing incriminating. I see exactly what they get as soon as I get through the gate. And then I have everything mini. So I have mini perfume. So this is my Versace perfume. I get a mini pack. They sell them on Amazon so that you can travel with it. So you're coming off the plane, you're meeting your boyfriend on the other end. You do a quick little, usually I just squirt from the little, what do you call it, the duty-free straps. But I'm getting a little bit more tasteful because I'm on TV now, so I have my own.
Okay.
Yeah, man, you can go and dab a little bit.
That's a nice travel hack though, so you just get a sample from duty-free.
A sample or you purchase the smaller packs.
And they have mini everything.
They have mini everything. And so even if you have like your I don't know, what shampoo do you use in your hair, your lotions, you just go ahead and get these mini packs.
So you
just
always
squeeze
keep a travel pack.
Everything in it, and then you just put it in your little container so you have everything you need, your lotions, your shampoos, in a little see-through.
No problem. No worries.
What else?
Talk to me about the cubes. I keep seeing it on TikTok and everybody's... Exactly. See? Everybody have them.
Yes, it's the travel cubes. So when you purchase them, they come in many different sizes and shapes. Okay. So it organizes. So if you want underwear, if you want to do gym clothes, in here I have my gym attire. You know, when I get to the hotel in Tulum, I know Dennis and I will be going. TK, we're not going to the gym. TK,
No, we must go to the gym.
We're going to the gym, Dennis.
Oh, you guys are one of those.
TK, but we just started the gym.
I'll meet you at breakfast.
You just started. Did you have leg day?
Focus. So let's go.
Okay, so you have
we label gym, and I actually have a label maker that I make so much use of.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious about the traveling, guys.
Wow.
I'm passionate about it. So you turn it on, and we're gonna clear it, and we're gonna put who? Let me just put TK. So we're gonna put TK.
So cool.
Okay, so TK. Come on. Okay, and we're gonna print it. Wait. So anyway, so you print the label, and you label your item with it. My battery's empty. It says the battery's empty.
I love
But it actually came out.
So it came out. So and we cut it,
there we go.
and then you label the little bags with it, so you know you have
so
like.
that's the TK bag.
This is the TK bag, so you have like
cosmetics or bras or
exactly. So you know exactly what you're
or whatever.
And then the cheap.
So these are better in terms of they hold more.
They hold more, so you can like stack them long way in your suitcase like this, or you can flatten them and then just really allow for space available. It makes more access to space. However, in our age of me trying to cut the budget, if you don't have money for a cube, you can always just go ahead and use a bag that you have. You know, sometimes we go shopping online.
This looks like my house.
That's it.
Yes, this looks like my house.
Who you giving away? Dennis?
Right, just loading up
And you do the same things with these. And what I do with my kids are I put labels with a Sharpie and just label the bag. So we don't have to do it fancy.
But let me ask you a question. Because you know, anytime you're going to foreign, you know, your people them ask if you bring things, right?
Lord.
Yes.
So now let's say I have the bucket for my family overseas. So you know it's the best. You know,
I wasn't prepared for this, guys.
You know the Jamaican KFC is the best. So how
we're going to wrap it up?
We're going to put it in a cube. We're going to put it in the hard shell. How it will go?
Okay. And I wish I had my basket here with me, but so I would. Listen, I worked in customs in Air Jamaica when Air Jamaica was a thing, so I am laughing because I do remember opening the bags and there's breadfruit and fish. And it's a thing that we Jamaica. It's a cultural thing.
People
and you have to have
your bucket
the
of KFC. So I would suggest.
Suggest it, Kelly.
So we're going to put it in the hard shell case, right, and have it in a compact. So we're not going to have it in the bucket.
Okay, we're going to, because this takes up too much room.
Right, so we're going to remove it. Possibly, I don't know if it takes away.
Foil it up.
Foil it up. Put it in your airtight containers.
Yeah.
And pack them in the hard shell container, or even the soft one. But just really make sure you have a lot of clothes. Cushioning, because you have to safeguard the fish and so.
Also, real quick, what about if we're going shopping or we're doing, how do you plan for it?
Right, so I find that initially when you're going somewhere like Tulum, you'll think, oh, I need to pack everything for my trip.
Yeah.
But I find that wherever I go in the world, I always end up shopping. Whether you stop at the marketplace and you see the $2 pants in Thailand, you always end up, so leave room for your things that you end up shopping with. And where your bulky items. So if you're going to bring your sneakers, one formal shoe and a flip-flop, you're going to wear your sneakers, so it takes
the bulkier stuff.
The bulkier things.
Kali, I'm ready to take a trip with Kali, you know. Kali look like she has it down pat. So thank you so much. That was Kelly Chin, professional organizer, interior designer at 54 Pegs. On the other side of the break, get ready to swing, shake, and all that jazz. Stick and stay.
We'll be right back.
Pour out the bottle, I wanna level up. When I'm with you, I never get enough. Slow wine, I'm not in a rush. I can hear music when you're here. Tonight we're rolling, party till closing. Since I put the ring on the finger, it's still frozen. Love in slow motion.
Hi, I'm Celine Gordon, host of Holy Road.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy John Mark Wigan, host on the show Holy Road. Listen, people need to know what's happening in the churches and in ministry in all of Jamaica. It's an absolute blessing. We're really excited to share this.
Tune in to CVM. See it happen.
Look who we have in the cut.
No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator,
my longtime brethren,
the great, all-star,
the king,
and the man himself.
Salute!
You know, as man, we're not to go as specialists.
And that's the pinnacle of the problem.
We want some new era.
Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. Life.
You work till a week.
It was pandemonium. Country people can relate to me I talk about.
What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what me think about myself.
Man United, you know. I don't care what man want to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man.
You finished?
Yes, we finished.
The Cut is brought to you by Flo and Guinness.
What's your story? What's your sign? You're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Jamaica's favorite drama, your guilty pleasure.
All that having a baby now is going to do for you is make you a prisoner of this apartment.
Long run shot, kid.
Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
The race has begun, I've traveled the seas, I've traveled the waters. Once I was weak, now I'm much stronger. I've worked in the sun, look what I've become. I've conquered the beast, now I'm much greater. I've learned from a failure. Dedication, discipline and drive. Seizing every moment that comes up in this life.
Bollywood has never been this good. Catch Made for Each Other weekdays 1 p.m. on your drama station CVM. Brought to you by
Hyundai. Conditions apply.
The jazz duo I-Sax and Ozane. Of course, on the 30th of April, Jamaica joins the global celebration of International Jazz Day, and presented by the Ministry of Culture, UNESCO, and the Jamaica Music Museum. It promises to be a night of rhythm, soul, and pure musical magic. But don't take our word for it. Here to tell us more we have the Director of Research at the National Cultural Creative Council in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport, David Brown, and the Programs Specialist for Culture at UNESCO, Yuri Peshkov. Welcome to Sunrise, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Good morning. Let's put this into context, because as an art form, as an area in the creative industry, it is so important for us to institutionalize things lest they be lost. Yuri, tell us why it was so important to declare back in 2011 an International Jazz Day.
Why? Well, I think jazz has no borders. It unites cultures, and for UNESCO, it's very important that we are, celebrating this art form. UNESCO has various international days. For example, yesterday it was International Dance Day.
Yes.
15th of April was World Art Day. So we are having these days to celebrate the creativity, the diversity of cultural expressions, and therefore the Jazz Day, proclaimed in 2011, is celebrated all over the world. I think estimation is like 2 billion of people is celebrating it just now.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So, David, the ministry, of course, is on board. What is the jazz community like in Jamaica? Is it large? Are we trying to build it? What's happening there?
It isn't as established as, say, the dancehall community. But, I mean, we're the Ministry of Culture, and there are many forms of expressions that we try to develop. But the jazz community in recent years, especially post-COVID, has really thrived. You have a lot of venues now that cater to jazz audiences, and musicians are slowly making the kind of livelihood that they expected to prior to COVID. And now that the ministry has become involved in Jazz Day, it affords them another opportunity to hone and display their talent and craft.
Speaking with the guys earlier this morning, it was important, they mentioned the support that the ministry is giving to this initiative. Right. And it's so important for, as government, to establish, not just policies and programs, but actually initiatives like this and that kind of a support. What other initiatives would you say the ministry is looking from the, a creative council perspective to get involved in?
Well, it all starts with our minister, of course, Minister Grange, whose mandate really is to develop as much as possible all the forms of creative expressions. One of the things that we're working on at the ministry, for argument's sake, is creating this framework within which all the creative and cultural industry and its expressions can thrive. So we're actually in the process now of not just doing our cultural policy, or new cultural policy, as you mentioned, but also creating draft legislation on the entertainment, culture, and creative industries, an act that allows for incentives and so on, how creatives can relate to the government. That kind of process is part of her toolkit to develop the sector. So even jazz musicians who may feel neglected in the past, there are now going to be opportunities for them to develop and to bring in their equipment tax-free and for funds for them to access to purchase things and this kind of thing.
So, Yuri, I'm not super familiar with jazz. I don't really, like you said, a little more dancehall for me. You know what I mean? What can one expect? Maybe I'm brand new, I'm coming to this event. What can one expect, Yuri, from the celebration of this Jazz Day?
Well, I guess you coming to the event, you will see the great musicians staging, and you will be inspired by the music and its creativity, because jazz is something that is not, written or, but it's improvisation. So I guess I'm not in a way I'm also playing music, I'm classical.
He does.
Guitarist.
Oh, nice.
But playing classic guitar and jazz guitar is
worlds apart.
Totally different. Totally different.
Definitely.
So, but you're getting the inspiration from the jazz music. I think that's something that is really expected.
Well, one of the things I love about, an initiative like this is that we see the true meaning of partnership, because UNESCO, which is in the business of preserving cultures across the world. You have the ministry in terms of providing policy and program oversight, along with the creatives coming together to stage something like this. I really hope it gets good support later tonight.
So remind us, it is tonight.
Tonight it starts at 7:30 at Randy Williams. And by the kind of feedback we're getting, I'd advise people to reach early, because we're expecting an overflow, which is a good thing.
Love that.
It's a good thing. A lot of those high school bands who, are introducing kids into jazz from an early age, get them out and get them going. Parents,
and it's free.
And it's free, remember, our favorite word. It's free. So thanks so much, gentlemen. That was David Brown, Director of Research at the National Cultural Creative Council in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, and Yuri Peshkov, Program Specialist for Culture at UNESCO. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
What's your story? What's your sign? You're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive.
busy.
And the cook at home.
Wow. Cooking with love. What do you know about that?
Hi, I'm Juliet Holness, wife of the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and you're here with me on Cooking with Love.
Jamaica's favorite drama, your guilty pleasure.
All that having a baby now is going to do for you is make you a prisoner of this apartment.
Long run shot, kid.
Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVMTV.
What's your story? What's your sign? Who dreamers? Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Trust Hawkeye's Total Connect. Hawkeye, securing what matters most.
Time by Hawkeye is 8 a.m.
My day has come, the race has begun. I've traveled the seas, I've traveled the waters. Once I was weak, now I'm much stronger. I've worked in the sun, look what I've become. I've conquered the beast, now I'm much greater. I've learned from a failure. Dedication, discipline and drive. Seizing every moment that comes up in this life.
All right. That's a wrap for us this morning. But of course, Sunrise continues with the round table. Be sure to tune in to Lead Story with George Davis at 6:30 p.m. And we can't wrap things up without shouting out our Sunrise community. We've been teasing it for days now that we have something special coming for you. So make sure you're watching and paying special attention every day this week, because every day you will see a clue pop up with a special word. And on Friday, we're going to be calling out 2 lucky Sunrisers. If you can string together a phrase from all of the clues that we've given, then $25,000 cash will be yours. But you've got to be a part of the Sunrisers community. So go to our social media pages, click the link in our bio now. And if you're not on social media, you can send us a WhatsApp at 876-833-0897.
And of course, be sure to tune in tomorrow for Why Not a Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
It's Why Not Wednesday time with Tamighty. Tami and I will be here. And it's the start of Child Month, and we're talking children's ministry in Wednesday service.
Oh, glory.
And when we make way for our May reads with the Sunrise Kids Library before opening our hearts in Parents Happy Hour. You don't want to miss it.
All right. And if you've missed anything from today, of course, you can rewatch your favorite segments. We've got you covered at CVMTV.com. And for all the fun stuff in between, we are on Instagram at Sunrise CVM and at CVM Television. So the Roundtable Squad takes over after the break.
Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome back to the Round Table. I am your host, Barbie, and joining me at the table this morning is my co-hostess with the mostess, Callie. Morning, Callie.
I just feel so special when I'm out here.
And our very special guest, attorney at law, former commissioner of the CARICOM Review Commission, Mr. Michael Diamond. Welcome, Mr. Diamond.
Thank you.
I like that name.
I'm sure you get a lot.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
If my name was Diamond, I'd just be draped in diamonds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely a diamond in the rough.
You're a diamond in the rough.
That's how we're going with it. I like that.
Okay. I like that. Well, all the diamonds start out as coal, right?
Right.
And then they polish. Yeah, pressure. And they polish them off. All right, sir. Okay. It is now time to check what's buzzing online in our social buzz. Check this out.
Mom.
Excuse me.
Don't go, please.
Audrey, Tyler, shut up. Audrey, let me get you straight. That's my son. I don't know how you grew up or whoever raised you, but that's mine, okay? And that's what I need you to understand. It has nothing to do with you. My boundaries, you saying that I go in your stuff, no, I'm cleaning it because you're nasty. Tyler, I told you could have did better a long time ago.
I love her.
No, you don't. You don't know what, you couldn't possibly know what love is, Tyler. She's only with you for your money.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. What do you do? What do you do for a living? You do nothing.
I have an online business.
You just want to sit here and be
I have
cute.
an online business.
But what money does it make? It's Tyler's money.
It makes money.
No, it's Tyler's money. It's not your money.
Who asked you to come in here?
No one asked me. My son pays bills here. You don't pay bills, sweetie.
Mom,
you don't pay bills. You pay no bills here.
So are you going to let her talk to me?
I can talk to her any way I please because guess what? You came from me, Tyler.
No, I'm saying though, come on, you can't be disrespectful.
This is way too uncomfortable.
You can't be disrespectful.
You know what, Tyler?
This is my lady.
Okay,
Ooh,
Mr.
this
Diamond,
one was
Callie,
heavy.
yes.
Wow.
Yes, wow. What do you think?
There is definitely an issue with
mom or with the
with mom and son. Clearly, she clearly has no respect for him or confidence in him as a male.
Ooh, I never thought of it that way.
For her to be addressing that situation like that, but definitely that is a problem for females. Definitely, I would say run. Because, of course,
Callie, you'd run?
Yeah, because you marry into the family, and for me, I would be upset with him because he should never allow his mom to speak to me like that. Like that's his responsibility. Like hold it down. What do you think,
like how she held it together, though. I really like how she held it together.
She was being very respectful.
Yeah, for me, I'm not arguing with nobody's mama because I don't want nobody arguing with my mama. So I'm not arguing with nobody's mother at all, like literally.
But you still marrying him with a mom like that?
But guess what? There was someone did answer in the comments, and it was a mom, and I loved her answer. I thought her answer was like perfect, right? She says, now my reaction to this was similar to this comment, right? She says, I saw it said, as a mom, if my son thinks I come before his wife, I have failed him. The family that you create comes before the one you came from. Also, I would never place my son in a position to choose. Please stay out of your children's relationships.
Yes, life within win _. Yes, beautiful.
Yes. I thought that was a perfect answer. So sometimes when I see these things, I do go into the comments, not to comment, but I go in the comment just to kind of see what people are saying. And this was the very first one that popped up, and I said, excellent answer. Yeah. Like, stay out of their business. And I love how she said that. She's failed if that doesn't happen. If he doesn't understand that, then she has failed as a mother.
In all fairness, one size doesn't fit all, and clearly, there's sometimes you care so much about your children. You know, you want the best for them, but you also have to remember that if you do your job from the beginning, then you don't have to worry about this stage.
And I care that though, Miss Michael, that mommy just needs to let go.
Yeah, she needs to get her own life, actually.
Yeah. Well, guess what, guys? It's now time for Abagatings.
All right, my bag of things.
Yes, your bag of things.
This is such a fun segment for me because I get to speak about something that's really special to me. So, a big part of my growing up was going to summer camp. So I went to this summer camp called Moorlands every year from I was 9 years old. I grew up in this camp. There I am with all the dorms. And pay close attention. In that first picture, they had like these wood panels on the roof. And these are the dorms that we'd grow up in. I went going when I was younger, and then I started counseling. So this is a huge part of my life. And those same friends that you see there, they all happen to get married to people who went to the camp, and they all have children. So I am friends with them, and my kids have built-in best friends.
Wow.
So what's happening this summer, is that after so many years, I think over 70 years, Morelands has been around, and they finally demolished the property to build a new set of dorms. So we went and we did a whole, it was symbolic, and we all went down to the property in Mandeville, and we smashed the dorms.
Did you cry?
And it was very, very emotional, because you had known this place from you're 9 years old, and you grew up, and then there it is, they're excavating it.
But it's not going anywhere, Kelly, so what you cry for?
Because, your dorm, your name that you've written in your marker in the roof from you're 9 years old every single year since you've grown up. And then now your children, I have a 13 and a 10-year-old, and they're going this summer, and they've been going for the last few years. But anyway, let me get to the point. My 40th birthday was last week, so those are my kids now in there somewhere, and they're going and they're having the time of their life, and it's almost like I'm reliving this thing, with them. Fun fact, you guys, I met Barbie on the property of Morelands Camp. I did. This is so great. This is how we met. And so anyway, so my friend of mine last week, she took the wood pieces from what was broken down, and then she made these trays from it and so nice. And then she put a little 100% bunkhouse, and then she put her name on the side here, Kelly. So we have a piece of it forever, and that is just
so nice.
huge.
But she made your tray, and you're not going to use your tray.
And we all have camp names, so our names for the summer changes for the year. So I'm Surf, because Cali in California they surf, so they kind of find a cute way of giving you a name for camp. And she, so I got a piece of the wood that I grew up with, and I have it forever.
But you're not going to use this tray, though.
We can talk about it, Barbie. Since I met you there, I can lend you once a year.
Okay, well,
nice.
I think I see something hot
Yes, I do
coming.
see something hot coming.
Let's see if we can, because Callie's tray, right? Callie's tray that we're not going to use. Let's put something hot into Callie's tray.
It.
Okay, dreaming of world peace, utopia, or achievable reality? Mr. Diamond.
Wow. Do you have like another question that's like easier? Easier to answer? No,
absolutely not. Well, what do you think? Do you think it's a dream? Is it utopia, or do you think it's actually a reality that we can have world peace?
I think we have a lot of examples that would demonstrate that it is possible. I mean, granted, it is an ideal that many have been discussing for centuries.
Okay.
But it is possible. I think we have a lot of examples to demonstrate that it is possible.
It's possible to have world peace.
Of course. And I think one of the things that we look when we think of world peace is that people believe that it means a removal of all conflict. Not exactly. It simply would mean that we would have better conflict resolutions rather than this full-blown violence and destruction that is occurring right now. So world peace is very possible. We can live in harmony. It may not be tomorrow, but there are examples where it's very possible.
Mr. Diamond is very hopeful.
Okay,
and I would say,
what do you think, Ellie?
I'm going to sound really smart, guys. Listen to this. Hold on. It says, if there is peace, you're preparing for war.
Exactly.
And if you're preparing for war, you're fighting for peace. So for me, it's like they're binaries. How can you have one without the other? And that's where I am. Like, the reality, the existence of one speaks to the other for me. But it was nice to hear your perspective.
I like his perspective. I actually like your perspective because when you say that, it doesn't mean that there is no war, and it does not mean that everything is great and we're all living in la la land. Right. It simply means that we find better ways to resolve problems and have issues. When I'm listening to this and I said world peace, like, is it even possible for us to have world peace? Living in the world that we live in today, I would definitely say absolutely not. And the reason I'd say not from the perspective of living in the world that we live in today is that people seem to be so feeling driven, and because they're so feeling driven, it makes everything and everyone so unstable.
It can, and imagine, let's go back for a bit.
Let's not go back too far, Mr. Diamond, because it sounds like you want to take us back. So I tell you what, let's go to a break and come back. We'll come back where he's going to take us back right after the break. More roundtable coming up.
Welcome to my corner office.
To your what?
Corner office.
So you were actually a welder? No, you leave from welding iron to know you're well wig.
My grandfather, he would come to me and say to me, little girl, come out of the mirror. How much time if you tell us and we come out on the set stage?
Wig wasn't the thing. Your granny have one wig. You know them, the church wig, the little old stable wig. That time. This industry has evolved. The dolls them in a wig, the Miss Kitties them in a wig, the celebrities overseas in a wig, everybody in a wig.
Bollywood has never been this good. Catch Made for Each Other weekdays 1 p.m. on your drama station CVM. Brought to you by
Hyundai, Iron Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the round table this morning. The topic is dreaming of world peace or utopia or achievable reality. And just before the break, Mr. Diamond was going to take us back. Take us back.
Absolutely. The fact of the matter is that what's happening even right now is so remarkable. Many years ago, it would almost seemed impossible at the time that we would have two females here hosting a program.
Hey.
Because everything was just about the males. So we do see that things can change and will change.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to having AI take so much of a big role in our space that maybe wars will be fought just by the robots and not by the humans anymore.
From any program I watch, it never ever goes good. Like I just watch Hunger Games.
When the robots take over.
It's going to be a problem. It's a very dangerous situation on the hand. But nevertheless, world peace, world harmony, that is something that's very possible because when we look from where we're coming from, you know, even for what we're experiencing right now, there's going to be a generation ahead that'll be looking back saying, I can't believe they used to fight wars.
Well, I mean, you're right. From that perspective, you're right. Because, I mean, I definitely grew up in a generation that never thought it possible to have a black president of the United States of America. So when I actually saw that happen, I don't even think this generation understands what happened in that moment. So you're actually correct. But where do we start? Where do you think that we start when it comes on to the possibility of achieving world peace?
We definitely have to be more open, right? Because again, cultural differences separates us at times. And the fact that information is now very accessible, we have to be more tolerant. That's what it comes down to because we can share the same space. You know, we can't exhaust what we have. For example, what is happening here in Jamaica may not necessarily be the culturally acceptable elsewhere, yet we can respect our differences and still coexist rather than attempting to impose upon another. So we have to look at the things that really create the type of conflict and discord among us. Inequality is definitely one of them, right? Yeah. So we have to address that issue. Poverty is another. Not just poverty of pocket, but also poverty of the mind.
Of the mind.
You know, we do have to address these issues.
Absolutely. And I'll
Kelly, go ahead.
Jump in there. I think when I listen to your point, like where does it begin? And I always say, people say, when you point at somebody, three are pointing back at you. Yourself. And so for me, I'm like,
unless you point like this.
Read it, Barbie.
That's right.
Jeez, you took from my serious point there. I can't help but laugh. But seriously, I believe it starts with me. So I am looking and analyzing my own life. I need to first figure out how to get along with my brother. You know what I mean? Or, you know, just the people in my sphere.
Right.
What does peace look like for me? And then if I think it starts from an individual level instead of the daunting overview, which maybe you can look at, I have to really dial it down to just me. What does peace look like for me? As you said, managing my inequalities, more acceptance in my day-to-day. What does conflict resolution look like for me? And then maybe it will, you know, trickle on or domino effect into others doing the same thing. And then maybe that, and you know, so So for me, I'm on two sides of the fence. I believe it possibly if I can work on myself, which is already feeling like, wow, I'm really going to have to work on peace internally.
It's definitely not something easy.
Right.
This is quite a task. Nevertheless, it is possible. We do have a particular area in India that experiences the level of utopia that we're speaking about right now.
Really? Their world?
Right. So
what area is this?
It's called Ahoraville. And
spell it for me?
Ahoraville.
Okay, I'll look it up.
It's right.
Okay, don't go for
it. Yeah, thank you very much. But nevertheless, they do have a system in place that is considered the ideal utopia that they would like to see happen to the rest of the world. So it is possible where individuals from all walks of life, all backgrounds, are able to come to this place and they live in total harmony.
So they let other people in? Because
Absolutely.
if I wouldn't let anybody.
Right,
they let Jamaicans in? There's no Jamaican there.
Well,
I know there is no Jamaican there.
Such a shame.
We don't know for sure, but it is a fact that there is a Jamaican on
everywhere.
every part that is habitual.
So
in this
do you
world.
think that so we're not in this generation, but we're living in this generation, right? Do you think that we are doing enough? Or do you think that we've done enough? And are we doing enough to see where that can actually, to see where this generation actually believes that that is something that can happen? And is it sustainable? Is what we're doing now sustainable to be able to facilitate that?
What I'd say to you is that any problems that man creates will also have a man solution. So the reality of it is that a lot of the conflicts, a lot of the issues we have today were man-made.
I agree.
So therefore,
man-made.
we can fix it.
I agree.
Right? And
man-made.
Well, hey. And you're absolutely.
What you did there?
You're absolutely right. A lot of the problems we'll have today will be man-made. So for all the men that believes that their problem is the woman, they'll remember that it was from the man that came the
ribs.
The rib. You know, so man-made.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, so the reality is that a man problem can have a man solution.
True.
So we do have that. Our greatest challenge right now, that's going to be the conflict, that is going to be the determining factor, is the fact that there are some societies pushing for gender neutrality that basically challenges a lot of our cultural norms. You know, because here in Jamaica, it's not heard of that you'll simply have a universal display of you don't want to recognize your gender, or we promote the type of teachings that
I'm thinking in India when you say that, I'm just like they're all alike. You know what happens in our world where we're so different, even in the church or leadership, and there's always power. And then there's mental health. So I might not respond to you and your power like I'd want to amicably. You know what? I'm really now leaning towards. I'm not quite sure.
No, it's possible. It's possible. Again, it's the respect that we will have for our differences.
But I think we need to define, and maybe that's what. Not maybe. It needs to be defined clearly what world peace is, and once we define it, then the people at the table also need to tell us what that looks like for them, because I may hear the definition and interpret it a different way than you. So we then need to be able to present the picture of what it looks like to each of us for us to actually put it on the table and see how achievable it actually is. So I don't know.
It's very challenging because I was going to use an example that for those who take public transportation and you're on a bus, everyone is quiet and they're getting along and they go from one place to the next. But then there are conflicts that occurs on some of these rides. But nevertheless, we can travel together on the same planet. And still, even though we're not interacting with each other in such a sustainable way, and have less conflict, we don't have to break out in violent wars.
True.
You know, and these wars are usually politically motivated, so it's possible that we can reduce that to the point of zero.
Agreed. Well, wait, hold on, because you see what happens at the round table, right? So I know you love hanging with us here at the round table, but it is actually time for another break. So stay tuned as we hit the home stretch and we share our final thoughts.
World citizenship, rule of international morality, will remaining but a fleeting illusion to be pursued. But
my day has come, the race has begun. I've traveled the seas, I've traveled the waters. Once I was weak, now I'm much stronger. I've worked in the sun, look what I've become. I've conquered the beast, now I'm much greater. I've learned from a failure. Dedication, discipline and drive. Seizing every moment that comes up in this life.
I am the only God.
But I'm going to fix our business fair, you know.
More comfortable.
More comfortable for what, Pastor?
Jamaica's favorite drama, Your Guilty Pleasure. Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
What's your story? What's your sign? Who dreamers? Don't care what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive.
Okay. Easy lottery draw for 8:25 a.m. Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. The one-drop winning number is 33. The hat-trick winning numbers are 4, 6, 9. The four-play winning numbers are 4, 2, 3, 2. The fireball is red. Thank you for playing with Izizi.
Your Guilty Pleasure.
All that having a baby now is going to do for you is make you a prisoner of this apartment.
Long run shot, kid.
Royal Palm Estate is on CVM every Tuesday and Sunday at 9 p.m.
Thanks for staying with us. Time flies when good things are happening, but you know what time it is. It is time for our final thoughts, and I will ask our guest, Mr. Diamond, your final thoughts.
Well, I would definitely say that world peace, harmony, that we all dream of. Well, I don't want to say dream, but we would want, we desire that. It is very achievable, may not be in the near future, but definitely we are doing the things now that will bring us to that. And we do respect each other's individual beliefs at times, but we have to make sure that those who we put in power have those type of ideals as well, because most of these conflicts are politically driven.
Okay, Callie?
Yeah, I appreciate your aspirational approach to this conversation. I do believe that on this side of reality, I don't think you can achieve world peace. I believe that God will come in on a cloud, riding on a cloud one day, and save us all. And this is when his big moment will happen, because we cannot achieve it outside of our Lord and Savior and God and all of that. So, but in my small way and my small world, I will work on peace in my sphere, in my environment, with my family and friends, and cater to peace in that way. You're right, yeah.
Riding on a cloud, though, okay?
Riding on a cloud. You don't know that song?
It's a song. It's actually a song.
Exactly.
So I definitely, I want to live in a world where there is world peace, where we do find better ways to resolve our conflicts, where we are not necessarily, where we're not living like other people, but we're learning to live within our own spaces and our own spheres, and just understanding, giving more understanding and more love. Just throwing love into the world and into situations, because I do believe that we won't always agree and get along, and that's what makes us who we are. It's what makes us individuals, and it's what makes us absolutely amazing. So I want to live in a world where there is world peace. So that said, yes, I do believe that it is possible.
Let's sing "Let There Be Peace on Earth." You guys know that?
We're gonna sing it together.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna sing it together. But guess what? Unfortunately, that's a wrap for the roundtable today. Special thanks to our guest, Michael Diamond, for hanging with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And as you go forward into the world, remember, be good and be on purpose.
In the southwest, north and east, world peace is what we're fighting for. World
America, Sudan and Uganda, Ethiopia and all over Africa. Right here in Jamaica, with a BNB